YouTube. How you guys doing today? This evening here. Yeah, I had to do this video all over again because I was talking and it cut off on me. I wasn't paying attention. I don't know how it cut off, so I'm gonna have to pay close attention. I don't want to be here talking by myself again and have to do this video all over again. But here it is, another vlog by Laoshu55,000, and for today's topic, we're going to talk about how to go about learning a language, or how to begin learning a language, and how I normally begin learning a language. So basically, I'm going to be talking about this because this seems to be the most asked question here on my channel, my Instagram, my Facebook. I've been getting a lot of people asking me this, and I know I've made countless amounts of videos regarding this topic, but you know, I'm gonna continue to beat the dead horse because this is an important question, and a lot of people are getting inspired and want to begin learning a language, but they don't know how to go about doing it. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and talk about that today. Now, first of all, everyone, including myself, everyone has been in a situation where they had to take a language in school. Now, if you've been to high school, if you've been to middle school, if you have taken language courses at a university, you fall into this category. You've taken a language, or you at least tried to learn a language somewhere, and usually this is by requirement. Okay, I want to talk about this a little bit because I don't want people to get the wrong impression of me when it comes to talking about this type of stuff. I don't want them to feel that I'm hating or I'm knocking them programs, because I'm not. I'm just giving facts, you know. And a lot of people are asking me these questions like, well, should I major in this? Should I major in that? And then, you know, I want to shine some light on that and give my opinions. This is my opinion. Okay, this is how I feel. I'm going based off of my experience. Okay, I've taken classes at university. I've taken language at school, so I know I'm pretty much qualified to talk about this type of thing here. Now, everyone has taken a language at school. Now, this is what I think. If you are intending to major in a language, let's say you want to become a professor, you want to become a French professor, you want to become a German professor or a Chinese professor in the language, you have to get that degree. Okay, it's required. You have to major in that language. You have to get that degree in that language. That's just how it is. Okay, you can't get a degree without going through that program. That's just how it works. Okay, now if that's what you decide to do, that's what you have to do. Expect to be spending a lot of time. If you, for example, if I talk about the Chinese flagship program, you're looking at a 6-year program. That's how long it takes, about 6 years. Okay, I'm looking back at my phone because I'm paying attention to this camera and making sure it doesn't cut off while I'm talking. So yeah, you're looking at a 6-year program. I personally know people who went to that program, and they speak way better Chinese than I do, native level Chinese. Okay, they've been successful going through this program. At the same time, they've been what they had to do. They had to go over to China, you know, live over there, stay over there during the summer, work over there, be in the environment. So you got to do all this stuff. This is required. And it's a great thing. It's not bad at all. There's a difference between someone who wants to major in a language at a university versus someone who just want to learn a language to communicate, be able to communicate effectively, and, you know, connect with these people. So if you're one of those people, you don't really have to go to school and do that. Okay. Now, it is fun to enroll in classes, you know, and be in that environment with other students, but nothing is like learning stuff when you're able to learn and follow your own pace. You see, I know sometimes people need instructors, but you're able to follow your pace. And if you do get instructors one-on-one, when you're able to do that, it's very, very convenient for yourself, and it speeds up the process. Now, it doesn't matter what you do. It takes time to learn a language, okay? But it doesn't take that many years to be able to communicate with someone, okay? It doesn't take like 6 and 7 and all that. It doesn't take that long. It all depends on what you're trying to do. There's levels to it, okay? There's, of course, levels to it, okay? You got beginner's level, intermediate, advanced, native. There's levels to that stuff. And the higher you go, you know, the more time you have to put in to learning that language. So it all depends on the goals of the person. You could study a language for 3 months and get admirable results, but you're going to be limited. You're going to be able to have a conversation with a native speaker. Now, when I say conversation, for example, like if a native speaker asks you what your name is, where you from, how old you are, why you learn such language, and you know what do you plan on doing with this and that with the language? Are you going to go? You never been to this country, or you're going to go to this country? Those type of questions, you're able to answer those questions. That's something that you can achieve in 3 months, in 2-3 months. Okay, that's easy. That's not really hard. I mean, I'm not saying it's easy. Anybody can do it. You're gonna have to put the work in and get that, but it's not really something that's like extremely difficult to achieve, especially if you're a very diligent person and you're able to focus. Right. So how do you go about starting? So I'm gonna talk about my experience. Okay, it's always good to talk about your own experience. You can talk about it very clear because you have been through that process. You already know how it goes. So for me, I like natural approach. Don't get me wrong. I like grammar too. I love grammar. I have a lot of grammar books. I don't have them here with me now, but I have a lot of grammar books and I like to study grammar. However, I don't study grammar as a beginner. Now, if I learn something like, for example, okay, let's say a language, I'm experiencing SOV language. Japanese was my very first SOV language, and then Korean, and then Persian, and you know, and now I'm learning Mongolian. When I start learning Mongolian, I spend a little bit of time learning stuff naturally, but I start learning grammar at an early stage. And why? Why was I able to do that? Because I'm familiar with that SOV structure. SOV is subject, object, verb. That's the structure of a language. That's the structure for Japanese. That's the structure for Korean, Persian. Those are SOV languages. Once you're familiar with one of those languages that's SOV and you start studying another one, you want to see how swift and just smooth how you learn things because you understand that structure. Now, if it's a structure that you've never learned before, then you're gonna have issues because you're not used to that structure. So when it comes to studying grammar at the beginning, that's the only time I will do something like that. If it's a relation, a language that I learned that is related to a language that I'm intending to learn, I can start learning through grammar. And normally when I avoid grammar, just ignore it, I spend at least 6 months. 6 months go by, I'm not doing nothing with grammar. I'm doing all natural stuff. And what's all natural stuff? I listen to a lot of stuff, audio. I learn phrases, just a lot of phrases learned in audio. I may watch some videos on YouTube dealing with phrases. I learn phrases and I listen to certain videos, even if I don't understand everything. It's the point of me listening to it just for pronunciation, accent, the extra exposure. I don't do anything with grammar when I first start off on a language that I'm not familiar with. That's what I do. You learn the phrases and you're just listening. And then you use those phrases with native speakers. So when I learn a phrase, I use it. I try to use it right away with the native speaker. This is what I do for the first 6 months. So you could do that by going to get going to get a phrase book. You know, there's a lot of different resources out there dealing with learning phrases and stuff. Now, this concept of natural learning, you doing that stuff, listening and learning phrases and all that good stuff, it's a hard concept to grasp when you have been through the system. Because the system tells you that you have to have a chart, you have to have some sort of a grammar book to be able to navigate through the language as a beginner. And when that's not true. It's not true. That's actually a backwards way of learning. That type of learning is good for people who are into linguistics, because you're not really learning the language to communicate with you. You're just learning the science of language. But for a person like me who is trying to communicate and talk with someone, or I'm making a trip, I'm going over to Japan next month in a few months, and I'm trying to learn how to say stuff, I'm not going to get anywhere learning that language through grammar. I'm gonna have to take a natural approach that's going to allow me to learn enough to be able to, you know, say some basic stuff before that time comes to go over to Japan. You know, that's how I learn. And I feel that it's very smooth, it's non-stressful, and it's fun because it doesn't even feel like you're learning. It doesn't feel like you're putting an effort in. You're putting effort in, but it almost feels like you're not doing anything. It's relaxing. You're like, dang, I'm learning all this stuff. I'm not even doing anything, but you are doing something. But this is the feeling that you get. Or maybe it's just me because I've been learning languages for a long time. Okay. So those of you who've been asking, how do you go about learning? It really all depends on what you're trying to do. But I would say the easiest way, is it still going? Yeah, I would say the easiest way is going the natural way. And see, you can do this by getting, like I said, phrase books. You can be listening to videos, something that's not dealing with grammar. You're just learning words and, you know, using it with native speakers and not really worrying about structure too much. Once I learned that this way is very, very suitable for me and is very effective, then it's crazy because it makes me want to learn more languages. It makes me want to learn a lot more languages. Whereas if I study a language in school, I spent 6 years studying a language. After I'm done going through that program, I'm not going to do that again because in my mind, I'm thinking that I'm going to have to do the same thing for that next language. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people, they're not trying to do that because it's a lot of time and it's a lot of money. Now I didn't say too much about my FLR stuff. Now, those of you who are familiar with the FLR stuff, that's what that is. I got 4 levels of FLR, not in all the languages right now. But if you look at level 1, it's all phrases and keywords. Every week it switches up. A different keyword, phrases, different. That's like 3 months worth of material right there that I just explained to you and just described. That's how I set that up. Now, like I said, that's not all. If you want to go further, there's more material that you have to learn, you know, to increase your vocabulary, you know, and that's what I do. You know, it's not all about just learning questions and answer stuff. It's more to it. And if you go through all the levels, you will see the progression. It's a huge progression from level 1 going all the way up. But the question is, are you willing to put that time in and put that effort in? Are you willing to put that work in to learn all that stuff? That's what it boils down to. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about that as this is a very common question I'm getting, and I have been getting lately on my channel and over on Instagram and the Facebook. Okay, it's a very common question. It's a lot of people ask me a similar question, but I understand why, because they're watching these level up videos and they're getting inspired, but they don't know how to go about starting. I made a lot of videos on this channel in regards to starting a language. I've given a lot of advice. I have courses that I've created, and they're very effective. You just have to listen to them, and you have to try. You have to have an open mind because the stuff works. I'm not going to be on camera talking about something that I don't know what I'm talking about. I got 20 years of experience. I've been doing this for a long time. Okay. Some people may not agree with certain methods, but I don't really care because I know what I'm doing. I know what's right. And then you guys can see through demonstration. So I practice what I preach. I know what I'm talking about, and I'm not going to put false information out there. That's basically what it is. And that's how I began learning a language. I start in a natural way, and then I spend 6 months doing a natural way. After 6 months, then I start getting some grammar stuff and start trying to understand grammar concepts, After 6 months, then it wouldn't affect me as it would if I was just starting that language as a complete beginner. So what do you guys think? That is it for this video vlog. I'm going to try to get this video subtitled. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for your support. I want to welcome all the new subscribers. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. There's a lot more videos to come. And yeah, so that is it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Laos 55,000. Thanks for viewing.